you?
This video is for you, Marvel fans. Many of you will know about Marvel's upcoming superhero movie, Shang-Chi and The Legend of Ten Rings, based on the character Shang-Chi. The movie is highly anticipated and is set to be the 25th movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In today's video, we'll be giving you all the details of Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings. We'll be talking about the release date, news, cast, and spoilers. If you're interested in learning about Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings, keep watching for more information. Before we begin this video, if you enjoy content like this, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to turn on post notifications so you can be the first to hear about my next video. Alright, let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about the release date. Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings will be the second Marvel movie to launch after the pandemic, putting them back on their feet after a long year that was rough on the movie business, as well as all creative aspects in the industry. Black Widow was the first film, but it was released straight to home video, as it wasn't possible to have an actual premiere due to cinemas being closed and the many COVID restrictions that were in place for most of 2020. Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings was set to be released on the 8th of May 2021, but was rescheduled and will now be released on the 3rd of September 2021. So not long to go, only a couple months. The film will have a proper movie premiere, just like pre-COVID times, and will be released exclusively to cinemas and then on DVD and Disney Plus later, meaning if you want to be the first to see it, you'll need to head to the cinema.
I gave you 10 years to live your life.
This is also an important movie for Marvel. Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings is actually a really important movie for Marvel, not only in that it is its first big release since COVID, but it is also the first Marvel movie with a leading Asian actor, rising star Simu Liu. This shows that Marvel is being a bit more inclusive and also showing off a lot of their comic books that were not previously considered to be made for film, giving fans even more Marvel to enjoy and adding a new story to the classics. The movie also features a lot of martial arts skills, and a lot of effort and training was put into the movie to make sure it's the best spectacle it can be. This is definitely one for the books, and Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings is definitely one you don't want to miss out on. This movie is also said to pave the way for a lot more inclusive movies by Marvel in the future.
And I remember when I was just starting out in the industry, the types of roles that were coming out. I mean, the fact that they were two-dimensional, they were a lot of them just didn't even have names. Like I played Hong Kong cop number 1, paramedic number 2, Asian guy number 3.
Who are the cast? This is the one you've been waiting for. Who's cast in the movie? Marvel likes to cast a lot of rising stars, and that's exactly what they did for the main roles of Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings. For the main character Shang-Chi, the up-and-coming Asian actor Simu Liu was cast. He was one of the actors in talks for the role of Ludi Lin in the Power Rangers movie, and was confirmed the role of Shang-Chi just before appearing at San Diego Comic-Con. He had also been talking about the role on Twitter as early as 2014, so this is a huge dream come true for him, and we're very excited to see him play Shang-Chi. But who will play the supervillain in the movie? Wenwu, also known by the pseudonym The Mandarin in the movie. This exciting character will be played by actor Tony Leung, who is known as a big star in Asia. The producer said that Leung was an easy choice to be cast in the film because he played the supervillain so well, but also added so much depth in his emotion. They said the character could have easily been an evil, one-dimensional character, but Leung opened it up as an antagonist who had the deep ability to love. Awkwafina, comedy star, will play Shang-Chi's friend Katie, and the cast will also be joined by Dallas Liu in an unnamed role, as well as Fala Chen, Ming'er Zhang, and Ronnie Chiang in the supporting cast. This is definitely a super versatile cast, and we are very excited to see their roles in the movie and how they play them. Will you be watching Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings in cinemas when it comes out in September? Next, what is Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings? Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings is based on the comics, and Shang-Chi first appeared in a Marvel Special Edition comic in 1973. In the comics, the protagonist is a Chinese-American born in the Honan province of China and was trained in martial arts by his father, Fu Manchu, who later turned out to be evil. The comic follows the trials and tribulations of Shang-Chi and involves a lot of martial arts, which will be in the film as well, making it a super exciting aspect to look forward to in the motion picture. The movie will follow Shang-Chi and the classic Marvel movie villain from Iron Man, the Mandarin. Even though he was trained from childhood to be an assassin, he finds out his father has a criminal cult when he's older and refuses to join, creating a rivalry between the two that the movie centers around. Leading actress Li told EW that the most exciting thing about the movie is that Shang-Chi's backstory has never been told before, so they had a lot of freedom and creative liberty to make it something incredible, unlike a lot of more well-known superheroes such as Batman, where the story has stayed the same because so many people know about it. This means that a lot of effort was put in to make sure that the movie was appealing to audiences and to keep them engaged the whole time. So if there's one thing to expect that it will be an awesome film. Special effects, will there be any? Since the film is based around martial arts, primarily kung fu, many have been wondering if a lot of special effects and CGI will be used. Although we still do not know a lot about how the whole movie will look, we do know that the cast has already had a lot of training in kung fu to make it look as realistic as possible and to make those fight scenes look super spectacular. Of course, this is a Marvel movie and we can still expect CGI when it comes to characters and fight scenes because a lot of superpowers and magic is used, especially for the supervillain, the Mandarin. So in this film, we can see a lot of well-crafted scenes with choreographed fights with a mix of CGI as well. Either way, just judging by the trailer, this movie is going to be pretty awesome and has a super unique look to it, but still fits in perfectly with the Marvel Universe. Are you excited to see how they interpret the comics into a film?
I haven't really said this very often, but Shang-Chi is actually going to be a musical. You heard it here first.
Why was Shang-Chi forgotten? Shang-Chi is a highly anticipated movie, and a lot of people are very excited that the comic book is finally seeing the light of day as a movie, but how come it didn't become a movie earlier? Well, there are a lot of reasons for that. When the comic was first released in 1973, this was at a point where a lot of kung fu-inspired shows and movies were gaining popularity, so the comic book also gained a lot of traction from fans. Although in the 1980s, the kung fu fever started to die down a little, and popular superheroes such as Batman were taking over once again, meaning that there wasn't really a lot of demand for a Shang-Chi movie. Although Stan Lee was originally in talks for a movie, it never ended up happening, and the idea got scrapped in the early 80s apparently. At the same time, Fu Manchu, the villain of a series of pulp novels, stopped appearing in the Marvel Universe when the publisher dropped the character's license, which made it super difficult to print most of Shang-Chi's classic stories. So his comics became even harder to find. This was also because Fu Manchu was a character derived from racist Asian stereotypes, and this was definitely not an image that Marvel wanted for their characters. However, more recently, he started appearing in some Marvel movies in his own 5-issue limited series where he defeats his father and ultimately becomes the commander of the Five Weapon Society, but decided to only do good deeds. As the story goes, the 10 rings are 10 martial arts techniques mastered by the Mandarin, and Shang-Chi has mastered 9. So we're very excited to see how this story plays out. We have heard a lot about the movie, and there is high anticipation among fans and the actors themselves for the release, so we have no doubts that the premiere is going to be incredibly exciting and that the movie is going to be filled with so many surprises. We're also excited for more interviews with the cast of the movie to see what they say and if we can get any more information about the storyline and what happens. And that concludes today's video of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Release date, news, cast, and spoilers. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and make sure to turn on post notifications so you can be the first to hear about my next video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.